Hi, welcome to the crash course on Spring Boot and Thymeleaf tutorial. The objective of this course is to learn how to develop Spring Boot web application with Thymeleaf template engine. We are going to create a Spring Boot web application that connects to the MySQL database, and we are going to perform the database operations like create, read, update and delete. And also we will discuss about the searching and sorting. We're going to create an employee directory web application, and here are the features. User can read the employees, user can display the list of employees, and user can add an employee, update an employee, delete an employee, sort the employee and search the employee. So before we start writing the code for this application, let's look at the demo of the application so that you will also get an idea that what we are going to build at the end. I'm inside the browser. The application is running on the port localhost 8080. I have already added a few records. Let's go ahead and add a new employee. Enter the employee name, Praveen. Enter the email, praveen@gmail.com, department, IT department. Click save. The record has been added to the database and it will add it to the HTML table. We can update the employee and delete the employee. Click on the update. The values will be automatically populated on the employee form. Let's change the department to marketing and click save. The record will update. Similarly, we can delete the record as well. Click on the delete button. The record will be deleted. We can sort the employees based on the name, email and department. Let's sort it based on the department. You can see it is sorted in the ascending order. Similarly, we can also sort it in the descending order. The same thing we can do it for name and email as well. We can also search the employees. Search for Chaitra. And you can see the keyword CH is present inside the name and the email as well. This search is for the global search. And also we have a pagination. It will show the first 10 record inside the first page, and if it is more than 10 records, then it will show it in the next page. Alright, this is the application that we are going to build in this course. So here are the development steps. The first step is to create the database inside the MySQL database. The second step is to create the Spring Boot starter project. The third step is to add dependencies to the application. And the fourth step is to configure the data source to connect to the MySQL database. And the fifth step is to display the list of employees inside the Thymeleaf template. And the sixth step is to add a new employee to the database. And the seventh step is to update the existing employee. And the eighth step is to delete an employee. And at the end, we are going to look at the searching and sorting as well. So the first step is to create the database inside the MySQL database. So we will use the MySQL database for this course, and we will use the MySQL workbench to connect to the MySQL database or the MySQL server. Inside the workbench, we will execute the statement create database and the database name. Spring Boot web app is the database name. You can give any name you want. So the second step is to create the Spring Boot project. There are two different ways to create the Spring Boot project. So the first way is to using the STS ID, and the second way is to using the Spring Initializer. So inside the STS ID, we can create the Spring Boot application quickly and easily. STS ID is just a flavor of Eclipse IDE, and STS ID provides an option to create the Spring Boot project. We will provide the project name, project type, packaging, Java version, group ID, artifact ID, and other basic information. And we will add the dependencies. Spring Initializer is an online web tool created by Spring team. We will provide the project details like project type, Spring Boot version, group ID, artifact ID, and name of the project, and we will add the dependencies and we will generate the project. This will download the project in the zip format. We will extract the folder and we will open it inside the IDE. Next step is to add dependencies to the application. We're going to add 6 dependencies. The Spring Web dependency, we know that, which is used to create the web application and the RESTful web services. We will add the DevTools for the development purpose. We will add Spring Data JPA to connect to the MySQL database and perform the database operations. And we will use Lombok, which is the Java library. We will use MySQL driver to connect to the MySQL database. We will use Thymeleaf templates for the front end. Next, we are going to configure the data source to connect to the MySQL database. Inside our application.properties, we are going to provide the JDBC URL, username and password for the database, and we will also use the JPA property hibernate.ddl-auto. We are going to set that to update. So we are not going to create the table. Instead, we are going to tell Hibernate, or we are going to tell JPA to generate the tables for us based on the entity configuration. Let's discuss the first feature, which is displaying the list of employees inside the HTML table. So the first step is to create the employee entity class. We are going to create the employee entity, which contains the private fields, setters, getters and the constructors. We are going to make use of the Lombok annotations and the JPA entity. We will add the @entity annotation to make this class as a JPA entity. We will add the table annotation, which will provide the table information, and we will add the @data annotation, which is the Lombok annotation. It will generate the setters, getters and toString method. And also we will add the all argument constructor and no argument constructor annotations. We will create 4 fields: ID, name, email and department. And for the ID field, we will add the @ID annotation to mark the column as the primary key. Next, we're going to create a JPA repository for the employee entity. We're going to create an employee repository interface that will extend the JPA repository. So JPA repository provides the predefined methods to perform the database operations like save, find by ID, delete and other predefined methods to perform the database operations. Next, we're going to create the employee controller and we will map the handler methods. Inside the controller, we are going to auto-wire the employee repository so that we can call the repository methods like save, update, delete and other methods. We will create the handler method, get all employees, and we are going to annotate with the @getMapping annotation. We will make this as a HTTP GET method. We will add the multiple URIs /list/ and inside this method we are going to create the model and view object, and to this model and view object we are going to pass the Thymeleaf template, which is list minus employees, and also we are going to call the repository method, which is find all, which will return the list of employees from the database, and we are going to add it to the model and view object with the key employees, and finally we are going to return the model and view object. Thymeleaf provides several expressions: variable expression that will start with $ and curly braces, selection variable expression that will start with star and curly braces, message expression that will start with hash and curly braces, link URL expressions that will start with @ and curly braces, fragment expressions that will start with the tilde and curly braces. We are going to use these expressions inside the Thymeleaf template. Next up is to create a Thymeleaf template to display the list of employees. So we're going to create the list minus employees.html file and we're going to place it inside the templates folder. We're going to create a HTML table and we're going to create the T head and T body. Inside the T head we are going to create the table row, and inside the table row we will define the table headers, which is name, email and department. Similarly, inside the table body we will loop through the table row using the ThymeLeaf each attribute, and we are going to make use of the variable expression to access the employees, the list of employees which we have added to the model and view object. And we are going to create a local variable which is the employee, and this local employee variable hold the employee object each time when the loop runs. Inside the table descriptor, we are going to make use of the ThymeLeaf text attribute to evaluate the variable expression. We will access the employee name, employee email, employee department. Alright, now let's jump to the STS ID and start writing code for this displaying list of employees. Okay, I'm inside the STS ID. Let's create the Spring Boot project. Click on the option create new Spring Starter project. If you don't find this option, you can go to the file and select new and choose Spring Starter project. The service URL start.spring.io, the name of the project Spring Boot web app, the type of the project Maven, packaging jar, the Java version I have installed Java 16, language Java, group ID in.Bhushan Sirigur, artifact ID Spring Boot web app, the version 1.0.0, description Spring Boot web application, the package name in.Bhushan Boot web app. Click next. The Spring Boot version 2.5.4. At the time of this recording, the latest and stable version is 2.5.4. We will add the dependencies Spring Boot DevTools for the development purpose. It will help us to automatically restart the application whenever we save the Java file. We will add the Lombok, which is the Java library, and the Spring Data JPA, and we will add the Spring Web, and we will add the MySQL driver, and we will add the ThymeLeaf. Okay, so we have added 6 dependencies: DevTools, Lombok, Data JPA, MySQL driver, ThymeLeaf, and Spring Web. Click Finish. This will take a couple of minutes to download all the dependencies and set up the project in STS IDE. Once the project is set up, you can expand the project. This is the typical Spring Boot project structure. Inside the pom.xml, we have all the dependencies: the Data JPA, Starter ThymeLeaf, Starter Web, DevTools, MySQL connector, Lombok, and also the STS added one more dependency, which is the Starter Test dependency. We can remove this dependency if we don't want, or we can leave as it is. Inside the source main resources, we have the application.properties file. We will add the application properties later. And inside the source main Java, we have the base package, which contains the main class, which is Spring Boot web application, which contains the main method, and the class is annotated with the @springboot application annotation. Inside the templates folder, we will add the ThymeLeaf templates. Now let's go ahead and create the database. I'm inside the MySQL workbench. We will create the database. Create database, the database name Spring Boot web app. Select the statement and click this icon to execute the statement. Let's refresh this. You can see the database has been created. We will not create the tables. Instead, we are going to configure inside our Spring Boot application to create the tables for us. Let's go back to the STS IDE. Inside the application.properties file, we are going to configure the data source. spring.datasource.url. You can see the STS will give us the suggestions. The JDBC URL for MySQL is jdbc://localhost:3306/ the database name, which is Spring Boot web app. Spring.datasource data source dot username, the database username, which is root, spring dot data source dot password, SC Bhushan 05. Make sure to change the username and password as per your installation. We will add one more property which is related to JPA, spring.jpa.hibernate.ddl-auto. We will set this to update. With this one property, we are telling JPA to create the tables based on the entity configuration. So let's save this. So we are going to create an entity package inside the source main Java. Inside this package, we are going to create a new class, which is employee class. We will add the JPA annotations, which is @entity to mark this class as a JPA entity, @table annotation. We will provide the table name, which is tbl_employees. We will add the Lombok annotations, which is @data. We will add the all argument constructor, and we will add the no argument constructor. Inside this class, we are going to define the fields: private long ID, private string name, which is nothing but the employee name, private string email, private string department. We're going to add the JPA @ID annotation, and we will add the @generated_value annotation, and we'll provide the strategy, which is generation type dot identity. Okay, now we have created the JPA entity. Let's save this. Now let's create the repository for the employee entity. Let's create a new package. Repository. Inside this, we will create a new interface, employee repository, and this is going to extend the interface, which is JPA repository. Click finish. We're going to provide the entity name, which is employee, and also we need to provide the primary key type, which is long. We will annotate this interface with the @repository annotation. Let's save this. So now we have created the employee repository, which extends the JPA repository. So the JPA repository will provide the predefined database methods, which is save, find by ID, delete by ID, delete, and other methods. We can call those methods inside our controller. Let's create the controller. Inside the source main Java, we will create a new package. Inside this package, we will create a new class, employee controller. Let me close this pom.xml, and let me close this employee.java, employee repository, and application.properties. We will add the annotation @controller annotation to the class. At the top, we are going to auto wire the employee repository. private employee repository eRepo, and we will add the auto wired annotation. We will create a handler method public. This is going to return model and view. Show employees, which is the handler method name. We are going to add the annotation at get mapping annotation. Show employees, this is the URI. Let's import the get mapping annotation, and inside this we are going to create the model and view object. Model and view. The constructor of the model and view object takes the view name, the ThymeLeaf template name, list minus employees. Of course, we haven't created this ThymeLeaf template. We are going to create it in just a bit. And we are going to make use of the employee repository to call the repository method, which is find all. And this will give us the list of employees. Let's import the list from the util package. Next, we are going to add this list to the model and view object. This add object will take two parameters, the key and the value. The key, let's call this employees, and the value, the list of employees. And we will return the model and view. Okay, now we have created the handler method. Let's save this. Now let's create the ThymeLeaf template with the name list employees. We are going to create inside the templates folder list employees.html. Click finish. So at the top, first we are going to reference to the ThymeLeaf template engine. XML namespace http://www.thymeleaf.org. We will add the head section. Inside the head, title goes in title, and I will provide the title as list employees. And next we have the body. Inside the body, let's add a div tag. Inside the div, let's add the h2 element. We will add the text list employees. Let's add the horizontal line. Next, we are going to make use of the HTML table. Inside the table, t-head. Inside the t-head, we have a table row, which is tr. Inside the tr, we have the table header or table heading. We have the employee name. We can call this employee name. And we have the employee email. we have the employee department. Let's make it short. Let me remove these employees. Since we are building the employee directory, we don't need to specify employee explicitly. So name, email, and department. And next, after the T head, the T body goes in. Inside the T body, we have the TR, which is the table row, and we are going to make use of the time leaf each attribute, th:(each). We are going to create a local variable which is employee : we are going to access the employee list using the variable expression dollar within the curly braces employees, which we have added to the model and view inside the controller. Inside the table row, we are going to create a table description td, and we are going to make use of the time leaf text attribute. So this will evaluate the variable expression dollar within the curly braces the local variable, which is employee dot name. Let's copy this line. Let's change the bits that are required: name, email, and department. Okay, so now we have the HTML table, the basic HTML table, which contains the T head and T body, and inside the T head we have the table row, which contains the name, email, and department, the 3 columns. We are going to add the border is equal to 1. Okay, so let's save this. So now we are done with displaying the list of employees. We have written the code for that. All we need to do is we need to test our work. Let's go to the main class. Right click, choose run as, choose Spring Boot application. Let's go to the employee controller. Make sure that we are added the URI. What I'll do is I'm going to add one more URI. Let's actually wrap this inside the curly braces and comma. We're going to add slash. Let's add slash list as well. Okay, so let's save this, save all the files. Our application will restart because we have added the DevTools. Now let's navigate to the browser. Let's navigate to localhost : 8080. When we hit enter, we should get the list of employees, but we are getting some error, which is internal server error. We can go to the STS and we can expand this and we can see the error, what it is. Error resolving the template list employees. I guess we made some mistake. Let's see. This is list employees, and what do we have inside templates? Okay, it's just a typo error. Let's actually refactor this. Let's remove one of the O, the letter O. Let's save this. And let's actually stop the server and let's restart it again because we have renamed the file. Let's restart the application. Okay, so let's navigate to the browser and hit enter. We should get the list of employees, but we are not getting any results. This is because we have created the database and the tables is also automatically created by JPA, but there are no records inside the database. So that is why we are getting no records. So let's go ahead and add few records just for the testing. Let's navigate to the MySQL database and let's refresh this. And if you expand the tables, we have the TBL_employees table, and there are no records as of now. Let's go ahead and add 2 records: ID 1, department IT, email bhushan@gmail.com, name Bhushan. Similarly, let's add one more record: the ID 2, the department sales department, and Bharat at gmail.com, and name, which is Bharat. Let's click on this apply, click apply again and close. So now when we execute this query, we do get the 2 records. Let's navigate to the browser and reload the web page. We should get the 2 records, Bhushan and Bharat. Alright, so now we have displayed the list of employees inside the browser. Now let's add Bootstrap styling to the application. Let's discuss the next feature, which is adding a Bootstrap styling to the application. We're going to add Bootstrap CDN to the application. We will give a reference to the CDN link between the head section of the document, and we will add the Bootstrap classes to the table, HTML table. And also we will create a container to wrap the entire table inside the container. Alright, now let's jump back to the STS IDE and add the Bootstrap styling to the application. Okay, I'm inside the browser. Let's add the Bootstrap styling to the application. Let's open a new tab and search for Bootstrap CDN. We're going to use Bootstrap 4. The latest version is Bootstrap 5. Let's use Bootstrap 4 because I have been using Bootstrap 4 from the longest time. Select the first link, which is from getbootstrap.com. You can see the docs is 4.0. Scroll down and you will see this CSS option. Copy this. Let's navigate to the STS. Inside the list employees.html, inside the head section, just after the title tag, paste the link. Let me bring this to the next line. Okay, so now let's save this and let's navigate to the browser. Go to the list employees, and if you reload the web page, you will see the changes. The Bootstrap styling has been applied to the HTML page. Now let's add a few more styling to the application. Let's navigate to the STS IDE. First of all, inside the body we have this div tag. We are going to add the container class, which will provides the padding for the left and right side of the page. Class, which is container. Let's save this and reload the web page. You can see now we have the padding at the left and right side of the page. Now let's quickly add the classes for the table. So we are going to add the table class, and we will add the table bordered, tbl minus bordered, and we will add table minus striped. Let's save this and reload this. You can see now we have a nice striped to the table rows, and also we have added the table bordered. We have a nice border. Now this looks much better than the previous. Okay, now we have applied the Bootstrap styling to the application. Next we will discuss adding a new employee to the application. Alright, let's discuss the next feature, which is adding an employee to the application. So the first step is to create a button to add a new employee. inside the list employees.html, we are going to create an anchor element, and we are going to make use of the ThymeLeaf href attribute to add the link URL expression. We are going to add the URI/add employee form, and we are going to add a bootstrap styling to make this anchor element as a button. Next, we are going to create a handler method inside the employee controller, and we're going to map the URI/add employee form. We're going to create a model and view object, and to the model and view object constructor, we are going to pass the ThymeLeaf template name, which is add employee form, and we're going to create the employee object, and that employee object we will add it to the model and view object, and finally we will return the model and view object. Next, we're going to create a ThymeLeaf template to display the employee form. We're going to access the employee object inside the form using the variable expression. We have added this employee to the model and view object, and we're going to access it through the ThymeLeaf object attribute. Inside this form, we're going to create the input text boxes. We're going to create an input text box for name, email, and department. And we're going to make use of the ThymeLeaf field attribute to access the employee fields, name, email, and department. We are going to make use of the selection variable expression. This selection variable expression will reference to this employee object. Instead of using the $employee.name, employee.email, employee.department, we can make use of the selection variable expression inside this ThymeLeaf field attribute. And we will add the bootstrap classes form control, column 4, and margin bottom 4, and other classes. Next, we are going to create a handler method to submit the employee form. We are going to bind the form details object to the employee object using the model attribute. Inside the method parameter, we are going to make use of the model attribute to bind the employee details to the employee object, and we are going to call the repository method save method. We will pass the employee object, and finally we will return we are going to redirect it to the /list URI. We are not going to return the model and view object. Instead, we are going to redirect it to the /list, the /list URI, which will display the list of employees. So once we save the employee object to the database, we will refresh the table. Okay, now let's jump to the STS IDE and write a code for this adding an employee to the database. Okay, I'm inside the browser. First of all, let me close this Bootstrap tab. Now let's add a button just below this list employees text. Let's navigate to the STS IDE, and inside the list employees.html, just below the list employees after the horizontal line and above the table, we are going to add the button. Actually, we are going to create the anchor tag. Let's add the text add employee, and we're going to make use of the attribute href, and we're going to make use of the link URL expression to provide the URI @ within the curly braces /add employee form. We are going to add the Bootstrap classes to make this anchor element as a button. We're going to add btn class and btn minus primary. So let's save this. Let's navigate to the browser and click on this reload. We should see the add employee button. This add button is actually attached to this HTML table. Let's add a break between these two table and the button. We can actually add the break, or we can add the Bootstrap class, which is margin bottom minus 2. Let's save this and reload this. We should see the margin between the button and the table. Okay, so now when we click on this add employee button, we should display a form. For that, we are going to create a new TimeLeaf template. Let's go ahead and create that. Before that, we need to create a URI for this add employee form. Let's go ahead and create that handler method. Inside the STS IDE, let's go to the employee controller. We are going to create a handler method. Let me give some white space. Let's create the handler method. Public. This is going to return model and view. Add employee form. Handler method name. We will annotate this with the @getMapping annotation. We will add the URI, which is add employee forum. This is the URI that we have given inside the list employees HTML. Inside this, we are going to create the model and view object. And to this model and view constructor, we are going to pass the TimeLeaf template name, which is add minus employee minus form. Of course, we haven't created this template. We are going to create it in just a bit. And we need to create a new employee object so that we can bind it to the employee forum. Employee. Let me call this new employee. Next, we are going to add this new employee to the model and view object. Employee and the value, which is new employee. We are going to return the model and view object. Okay, now we have created the handler method for the URI / add employee form. Now we need to create this TimeLeaf template with the name add employee form, and we need to bind the model object, which is employee, to the employee forum. Let's go ahead and do that. First of all, let me save this file. Inside the templates folder, we are going to create a new file with the name add minus employee minus form.html. Inside the list employees, let's go ahead and take a copy of this. In fact, let me copy everything. Let's copy this inside the add employees form. Let's paste it. Let's get rid of this code inside the div. Now we have the container, div container, and also we have the Bootstrap styling library. Let's change the title, which is add employees. Now let's create the form. First of all, let's add the h2 element to give the heading. Add employee. Let's add the horizontal line. Next, create the form. This form takes few attributes. The action attribute. We're going to make use of the link URL expression. @ within the curly braces / save employee, which is the URI, and the object attribute, and we're going to make use of the variable expression. If you remember, we have added the employee object to the model and view. So we are going to make use of the value expression to evaluate the employee object, employee, and we are going to pass the method. This is a post method. Inside the form, we are going to create the input text boxes. Input, the type is text, and we are going to use the field attribute. Inside this, we are going to make use of the selective variable expression, that is starts with star, and within the curly braces we are going to reference to this employee fields, which is name, and we can add the placeholder, which is enter name, and we also add the bootstrap classes, which is form control, and we will add the column -4, and we will add the margin bottom -4. Okay, let's actually bring this to the next line, or we can expand this file. Let's copy this, let's paste it few times. Let's change the bits that are required. The second input text box that represents the email, and enter email, and the third text box represents the department, and let's add the text enter department, and we need to add the submit button, the button text, which is save. We're going to add the bootstrap classes, which is class btn minus primary, and we will add the button type as submit. Okay, so now let's save this. We have created the form. Let's navigate to the browser. Let's test our work. Let me reload this web page. Click on this add employee. We should get the employee form. On click of this save button, we need to save the employee records to the database. Let's go ahead and write the handler method for that. Let's navigate to the STS IDE. Let's go to the employee controller. We are going to create a new handler method, public. This is going to return string, save employee. We will add the post mapping annotation, and we will provide the URI, which is save employee. This is the URI that we have provided inside the add employee form in the action attribute, and this is going to receive the model attribute. We're going to bind it to the employee entity class. Let's import the post mapping, and inside this we are going to make use of the employee repository to call the repository method, which is save, and to this we are going to pass the employee object. That's it. We are going to return, we're going to actually redirect it to the /list URI, which is this URI. We can use redirect to call this URI, redirect :/list. Let's save this. Our application will restart. All we need to do is we need to test our work. Let's switch to the browser. Let me reload this. Now we are inside the list of employees. Let's click on this add employee. let's add a new employee. Let me add Chaitra at gmail.com. She is from marketing department. Click on this save. The record should be saved to the database, but for some reasons the record is not creating. Let's actually verify that. Let's navigate to the STS and we are not getting any exceptions. Let's navigate to the database. Let's reload this. Okay, here we are not we are only the ID is creating, but the name, department and email is not storing to the database. Let's actually verify what is happening. Let's navigate to the STS IDE and we are getting the employees object, and inside this employee we are binding it to the employee object, and we are using star name star. Okay, I think we have typed this. This is actually field and we have typed it as filed. Okay, just a typo error. Since we have copy pasted the first input text, that's why it is replicated with all the same names. So let's change this to field. Okay, so let's save this, and now let's go back to the MySQL database. Let me delete this record. Click apply, close this. Now we have only 2 records. Let's navigate to the browser. Let me reload this page. Now click on this add employee and add Chaitra at gmail.com, and she is marketing. Click save. You can see now the record has been added to the list. Let's actually verify it to the database. Let's navigate to the database. Let me reload. Let me execute this statement. We should get the record, which is the ID 4 marketing Chaitra at gmail.com and Chaitra, which is the name. Let's try to add one more record. Add employee. Let's add this Shankar at gmail.com, and he is an IT guy. Click save. We should get the Shankar record inside the list. Okay, we have completed the add employee to the database. Next, we will discuss the updating an employee to the database. Alright, let's discuss the next feature, updating an employee to the application. So the first step is to create an update button on each and every row of the record. We will create a new column actions, and we are going to make use of the anchor element. We will make use of the timeleaf href attribute to add the URI. We will make use of the link URL expression to add the URI/show update form, and we are going to pass the employee ID as a query param. The employee ID is the parameter name and employee.id is the value of the employee ID, so that we can access this employee ID inside the method parameter using the request param. The next step is to create a handler method to show the employee form with all the details. We will call the repository method find by ID to retrieve the employee details based on the ID. We will create a handler method that is going to return model and view, and we are going to receive the employee ID using the add request param annotation. We will bind the employee ID to the variable employee ID, and inside this we are going to create the model and view object. To the model and view object constructor we are going to pass the timeleaf template name, which is add employee form, and we are going to make use of the employee repository to call the repository method, which is find by ID, and we will pass the employee ID. This is going to return the optional. On that we are going to call the get method. This will give us the employee object, and that employee object we will add it to the model and view object, and we will return the model and view object back to the UI. And the last step is we're going to create a hidden text box to keep track of the employee ID. We will create a hidden text box that is making use of that will keep track of the employee ID. When we click the save button, if the ID is present, then we are going to update the record. If the ID is not present, then we are going to create a new record. We are not going to create any separate form for updating the employee details. We are going to make use of the same form which we have used for the creating a new employee. The only difference is we will add this hidden input text box which will keep track of the employee ID. Alright, now let's jump to the STS IDE and let's write a code for this updating a record to the database. Okay, I'm inside the browser. Let's add the update option. Before that, we need to add one more option inside the add employee form. We need to provide an option to go back to the list. Let's add that option. Let's navigate to the STS IDE. Let's go to the add employee form. After the form, let's actually add the horizontal line, and after that we are going to provide the anchor element. Let's add the text back to list. Let's add the href attribute, and we're going to make use of the link URL expression. It will start with @ and within the curly braces /list, which is the URI that is mapped to the handler method, which is show employees. Let's save this. Let's navigate to the browser. Let's reload this. Go to the add employee. We can see this option back to list. Click on this. It should go back to the list employees page. Okay, now let's go ahead and add the update option. Let's navigate to the STS IDE, and inside the list employees, we are going to add one more column, which is actions. Inside this, we're going to create an anchor element, anchor tag. Let's add the text update. We're going to make use of the href attribute. We will make use of the link URL expression that will start with @ within the curly braces /show update form. This is the URI, and we need to pass the employee ID as a query strings or a query parameters. The parameter name, which is employee ID, is equal to, we will make use of the variable expression to access the employee ID, employee.id. We can add the bootstrap classes, which is btn minus info, and let's save this. So we are making use of the anchor element, and to make use of the href attribute, we will make use of the link variable expression to add the URI, and we will pass the query parameter, the parameter name, employee ID, and we're going to access the variable expression. Let's save this. Let's go to the employee controller. Before that, let's navigate to the browser. Let's reload the page. We should see the update buttons on each and every row. On click of this, now we need to display the form with all the pre-populated values. Let's navigate to the STS IDE. Let's create a new handler method, public. This is going to return model and view, show update form, this is a get mapping slash show update form. We need to receive the employee ID using the request param @request param. The employee ID will be of number type, so let's point it to the variable employee ID, which is of type long. Inside this, we are going to create the model and view object. To this constructor, we are going to pass the TimeLeaf template name, which is add minus employee minus form. We are going to make use of the employee repository to call the repository method, which is find by ID, and we're going to pass the employee ID, and on this is going to return an optional, the find by ID, but on this we are going to call the get method. This is going to give us the employee object. We can store that in the local variable, which is employee, or we can call this as an existing employee. Let's add this to the model and view object. The key, which is nothing but the employee, the value is also an employee, and we will return the model and view object. Let's save this. Let's navigate to the browser and click any one of this update button. It should navigate to the employee form and it should populate the employee details. Let's click on this Chaitra, click on this update. We should see the populated values, Chaitra @gmail.com and marketing. Now on click of this save method, we need to update the Chaitra's record, but for now if we click on this save button, it is going to create it as a new record. Let's actually verify that. When we click on this save, you can see a new record has been created, Chaitra @gmail.com and marketing. So in order to fix this, we are going to create a one more hidden text box inside the employee form. Let's navigate to the STS and go to the add employee form. Just before closing the form tag, we are going to create a new input text box, input type hidden, and we're going to embed the employee ID. We're going to keep track of the employee ID. We're going to make use of the selective variable expression star within the curly braces ID. Let me actually remove this double quote, one double quote. Okay, so now let's save this. So now what will happen is, this employee controller, we have this save employee method. This is going to call the save method of the employee repository. This save method will also performs the update operation based on the ID. So if the employee object contains the ID, then this save method will update the employee object. If this employee object does not contain the ID, then it is going to create a new employee record. Since inside our add employee form, we have embedded the hidden text box for the employee ID. When the user click on the update option, the pre-populated values will be populated inside the employee form, and when the user at the time, this hidden text box also contains the employee ID. Let's actually verify that. Let's save all the files and let's go to the browser, and now click on this Shankar, click on this update option of the Shankar, and now let's right click on this, go to the inspect element, and we inside the body we have the form, and if you take a look at the form, we have this hidden text box, and you can see the value which is the employee ID. So now when the user click on this save, it will bind it to the employee object. It will go to the method which is save employee method, and this time the employee object does contain the employee ID. So instead of creating a new record, it is going to update the existing employee record. But now if the user click on this add employee, at this time if we go to the inspect element, inside the form the hidden text box does not contain any values, does not contain the employee ID. So now when the user click on this save button, it is going to bind it to the same employee object, but this time the employee does not contain the employee ID. So at this time it is going to create a new employee record. I hope this makes sense to you. Now let's go back to the browser. Let's click on this back to list. Let's click on this update option. Instead of marketing, we are going to change this to IT, and this is instead of Chaitra, we're going to make this as Venkatesh, the email ID Venkatesh. Click on this save. The record should be updated, venkatesh@gmail.com and IT. Let's create a new employee record. To verify that, we're going to add XYZ at gmail.com, department XYZ department. Click save. It should create it as a new record. Okay, so now we have completed the update operation. Next, we'll discuss the delete operation. Alright, let's discuss the next feature, which is deleting an employee from the application. So the first step is to create a delete button on each and every row of the record. We are going to create an anchor element that makes use of the ThymeLeaf href attribute, and we will add the URI using the link URI expression, the URI delete employee, and we're going to pass the employee ID as a query param. We will pass the employee ID and the employee.id, which will give us the value of the employee ID, so that we can access the employee ID using the request param inside our controller. Inside the controller, we are going to create a handler method for deleting an employee. We will make use of the get mapping annotation, and we will add the URI /delete employee, and we are going to receive the employee ID using the add request param annotation. Inside the method, we are going to call the repository method, which is delete by ID. We do also have one more method, delete, which will takes the employee object, but here we are receiving the employee ID. We will make use of the delete by ID method. We will pass the employee ID. This will delete the employee object from the database. And finally, we are going to redirect it back to the /list URI. We are not going to return the model and view object. Instead, we are going to refresh the table. Alright, now let's jump back to the STS IDE and write a code for this deleting an employee from the database. Okay, I'm inside the browser. Let's add the delete button. Let's navigate to the STS IDE. Inside the list employees.html, let's take a copy of this. Paste it and then change the bits that are required. We're going to change the URI to delete employee, and we're going to pass the employee ID as a query param, and we're going to change the bootstrap class name to btn minus danger. Let's change the text to delete. We're going to add a one more class which is margin left to -2. Otherwise the update button and the delete button both gets attached to each other. So let's save this. Now let's navigate to the browser. Let's click on this reload button. You can see now we have the delete button. On click of this delete button, we need to delete the employee record from the database. So for that we are going to create a handler method and we're going to map it to the URI. Let's go to the employee controller, create a handler method public. This is going to return string, the handler method name which is delete employee. This is going to take the employee ID as a request param, long employee ID. Let's annotate this with the @get mapping annotation, delete employee. Inside this we are going to make use of the employee repository to call the repository method which is delete by ID, and we are going to pass the employee ID. Next we are going to redirect it to the /list URI. So return redirect :/list. Let's save this. Let's navigate to the browser, and on click of this delete button we should delete the employee record. So let's actually try for the last record XYZ. Click on this delete. The record has been deleted. Let's verify that. Let's go to the MySQL database and let's actually execute the statement, the SQL statement. You can see now we have only 5 records inside the database. We do not have the employee name with XYZ. Let's navigate to the browser and let's try for the last 3 records, Chaitra, Shankar and Venkatesh. Chaitra, the deleted, Shankar which has been deleted, Venkatesh which has been deleted. Let's navigate to the MySQL database. Let's execute the statement. We should see only 2 records. Okay, we have completed the deleting the employee record from the database. Next we are going to add the jQuery data table and we are going to add the searching and sorting. Alright, let's discuss the last and final feature, which is adding the jQuery data table to the application. So jQuery data table provides searching, sorting and pagination out of the box, so we don't need to worry about the searching and sorting and other options. So we can make use of the jQuery data table to add those features. So the first step is to add the jQuery data table library to the application. We will give a reference to the script library and the CSS library inside the ThymeLeaf template. At the very end of the web page, just before closing the body tag, we will give a reference to the script library, and inside the head section we will provide a reference to the CSS library, and we will create an ID to the table, employee table. Next we are going to create a script to call the jQuery data table method. We are going to target the HTML table using the ID selector, and on the table we are going to call the jQuery data table method, which will add the jQuery data table to the HTML table. It will automatically provides the option for searching, sorting and pagination. Alright, now let's jump back to the STS IDE and add the jQuery data table to the application. Okay, I'm inside the browser. Let's add the jQuery data table plugin. Open a new tab and search for jQuery data table. Go to the first link, which is datatables.net. Click on this. go to the download section, and here we are going to choose the styling framework. We're going to add the Bootstrap 4 styling framework and scroll down. We're going to choose the data tables as expected, and we need to choose the jQuery as well, because the jQuery data table is dependent on the core library of the jQuery, so we need to add that as well. And inside that we have the two links. One is for the CSS styling library and the data tables script library. So let's actually copy this. Copy this and let's go to the STS, and inside the list employees.html, at the very top we are going to add the CDN link. Let me bring it to the next line so that okay, so now we have added the styling library for the jQuery data tables. Now let's switch to the browser and let's copy the script, the JS script. Copy this. Just before closing the body tag, we are going to add the script. We have the data tables min.js. So but this jQuery data table is dependent on the jQuery core library. We need to add that as well. W3 schools. Select the first link and go to the get started, and if you scroll down you will see the CDN link. Copy this. Let's navigate to the browser, not the browser, the STS IDE. Just above the data tables library, the JS library, you need to add the jQuery core library. So let's save this. So the order is important here. Now let's go back to the browser. So before that we need to add the ID to the table. So let's add ID. This is employee table. Let's add the script. Inside the script we are going to make use of the jQuery selectors, $document.ready. This will take the anonymous function as a parameter. Inside this we are going to add the ID selector. We are going to target this table using the ID selector. We have added this ID, dollar within the double quotes, hash employee table. We are going to call the data table method from the jQuery data table. So let's save this. Let's navigate to the browser. Let's go to the list employees and click reload. We should see the jQuery data table in place. We have the search box and we have the pagination option, and also we have the records displaying, and also we have this text, the total number of records that it is displaying, and also we have the sorting option. We can sort the department email name. Let's actually try for sorting the department. You can see we can sort it based on the ascending and descending. Let's actually add the new record. Let's add a new employee, chaitra@gmail.com, she is a sales department. Click save. Now we have Chaitra. We can sort based on the employee name. You can see we can sort it in the ascending and descending. If you notice, for the actions column also we have this sorting option. We don't need that. We can customize that. Let's go back to the STS IDE. So this is going to take an object inside the data table. We are going to provide the object and we are going to specify the property, which is AO column defs colon. This is going to take an array of object. Inside this we are going to specify the sortable option, be sortable. We're going to set this to false. We don't want the sortable option for a specific column. We have to specify the column index as well using the a targets property name, a targets colon. Within the square brackets we're going to pass the index. The index starts from the right column to the left column. So if you take a look at the browser, from right to left, so this is -1, -2, -3 and -4. We don't want sorting for the -1 column, the index of the column. So -1. So let's save this. Let's go to the browser and hit reload. I think we have missed something. AO column COLUM. Okay, it is column UMN, just a typo error. So let's save this and let's go back to the browser and click on this reload. You can see now there is no sorting options for the actions column. Okay, so let's try for searching the employee. So let's try for Chaitra. You can see it is only searches the text CHA. If I try for IT, it will search for the text IT. IT is also inside the Chaitra, so it displays the Chaitra record as well. Okay, so far we have covered almost everything. We have covered the database operations, create, read, update and delete. Also we have added the jQuery data table to the application. We have added the pagination, searching, sorting and everything. Alright, so this ends this course. I hope you guys enjoyed this course as much as I do. And in case if you are looking for the source code, it is available on my GitHub repository. Go to the github.com/scbhushan05, and if you go to the repository section, you will see the repository name, which is Spring Boot Thymeleaf database application. In case if you are looking for the written article, you can head over to my website bhushansirgur.in, and if you go to the Thymeleaf section inside the advanced Java J2EE, go to the Thymeleaf section. You can see the examples, the database operation, save the database operation, update the operation, delete the operation and all those things. That's all about this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.